second half of the show. I've got the lovely Sanda Shufflebottom. Hi, Sandra.
Hello, Lisa.
Sandra made me a lovely cup of tea before, but she didn't realise that I didn't drink it. I apologise profusely for that. You had to go back to the kitchen to drink it.
I drank it, no. Didn't get wasted.
So, Sandra, I was introducing you earlier to the listeners about the book that you've written, Coronation Street Where's My Jacket?
Dear Coronation Street, Where's My Jacket?
That's the one. Now, I bought the book from lulu.com, which is part of Amazon, isn't it? And I got it just before Christmas. I think if you go on Amazon...
Well, I just put on Lulu.
Yeah, but you can get it through Amazon as well. So you can go on lulu.com. Yeah, it's like connected.
Wow, you've told me something there. Because I found it on another website and I wrote to him and said, why have you got my book? And they were selling it for like $15. Oh, excuse me, I've not got any money off you. But, yeah. So they never got back to me, so I just thought it probably all looked up anyway. But I didn't think it was hooked up to Amazon.
Yeah, it is, and it's still available to buy if you want to buy it. I think
well, it was on sale when you got it.
It was. I think it was something ridiculous, like 97p with free delivery, and it was worth every 97 pence. But I know it has gone back up to a few dollars, £3 or something like that. So I couldn't put it down. Once I started to read it, I actually couldn't put it down, which is unusual for me because I can get bored quite easily, and it was like, I need to read this. I want to know what happens. In fact, I was late for work because I didn't put the book down. And it's when I was reading it, it was quite an emotional read because
it was an emotional write.
I imagine it must have been quite painful for you to write, and to go back and unlock some of those painful childhood memories that have been there for such a long time, particularly when you mentioned that you grew up in a children's home.
Well, no, I spent time in a children's home. I didn't grow up in a children's home.
Okay. So do you want to tell me about that?
I was in, there was one in Frodsham. Well, there was one, Frodsham in Cheshire, the Gary Barlow land.
Is that the Gary Barlow land?
Well, so he's from Frodsham.
Oh, right, okay.
And
you can tell I'm not a Gary Barlow fan.
You're a Gary Barlow fan?
Not a Gary Barlow fan. That's why I didn't know he was from Frodsham.
Yeah, he's from Frodsham.
So go on, sorry. So you was in Frodsham Children's Home?
Yeah, in Frodsham. It was one of the national children's homes.
Okay.
And the only thing now is private flats, and it's beautiful. It's got a waterfall, and
has it?
It's unbelievable. It's beautiful. Because they had an on-site church as well, and even the church has been made into flats. Really? It's just amazing. It's so beautiful.
So you've obviously been
when I went back,
yeah.
Once I've been back in 06. I just met somebody who lived in the next field.
How bizarre!
How amazing was that?
Yeah.
On MySpace. That's how long ago it was in the days of MySpace.
Wow.
And I went down, and because I went down, I thought it'd look the same because you just get it in your head.
Yeah.
But it looked totally different, and I went running off trying to find, thinking I'm going to find the Yellow Submarine that was given, by the Beatles and all that. And he wouldn't walk because the bloke I was with, he wouldn't walk fast enough. And I'm like that excited. I really think, how many years later, 40 odd years later, that the Yellow Submarine is still going to be there by the side of one of the houses. It's like a load of houses in a circle. And the first, when you drive in, the first one was a nursery, and that's where my brother was. And that's the only thing that's all got me. It's just above the nursery is the National Children's Home sign, and that's the only thing that is there.
That still remains.
That is a reminder, yeah.
Wow.
Because I went running off looking for the Yellow Submarine, and it was gone.
Gutted.
I couldn't believe it.
It's funny what you have in your mind, isn't it? Yeah,
I was a kid again. I was 6 again.
Yeah.
That was just the most amazing thing to go and play in. A big yellow. Well, it was big. I'm 6, so anything's big, isn't it?
So was it a lot smaller when you went back? Was everything a lot smaller? Because everything's always
a million times smaller.
Yeah.
And they'd made the roads smaller and everything, and it just it was so small.
Like, really? Yeah. I thought this was so much bigger.
Yeah.
Really? And the Yellow Submarine's not here?
No. Oh, long gone.
So I was reading in the book. Now, I know you're a bit of a wild character anyway, but I was reading about your personality and about how you developed as a youngster into a teenager, and the influence of other people around you and how you grew as a person. And one of your very good friends, Wendy,
Oh, Wendy Scott, yeah.
Tell me about Wendy and tell me about yourself.
Well, I met Wendy at Newell Green. Moved to Wythenshawe in 74. And I met Wendy the first day at school. And I'm inseparable, best friends. And we was always wagging it, me and Wendy. And we wagged it one day, and Piccadilly Radio had just started. So we're up there, saying to the reception, "Let us in," like you do, yeah, let us in. And of course she's like, "Get out, get out." But Chris Evans we didn't know he was Chris Evans. We just see this tall lad outside, ginger hair, and he's like, "What are you doing, girls? Well, what are you there for?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm not going, and she won't let us in." And he went, "Come on." And he must have been about 16 then. He was like the gopher, whatever. Tea boy. He was Milk and Two Sugars, and then he got his own show. But yeah, I don't even think he was Milk and Two Sugars then, because I didn't know him. Nobody knew him. He got known as Milk and Two Sugars, and then he's only when he got his own show. He ended up having my brother's record, and he played my brother's record, and it won. And they ended up supporting Atlantic Star at the Apollo and the Hammersmith Odeon, which is brilliant, way back in the early 80s. So that'll come off Chris Evans.
Yeah. Just going back, I know that you had, there was a lot of painful memories with your mum as well. I know that your mum died when you was quite young. 12. Well, that's still really, really young, isn't it? And that must have been...
Well, me twin brothers, they were 6.
Yeah.
And then my oldest brother, he was 16. So
that was really difficult for you?
Well, you could say.
And just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Not recommended.
No.
Not recommended. No.
And do you think that might have sent you... do you think that might have sent you into this, I don't really care attitude? I'm not bothered about school. I'm not really bothered about authority.
No, I couldn't be like that because my dad would have battered me.
Yeah.
So I was a good kid. We was good kids.
Yeah.
We had to be. He was. That's the way it was in them days, you know what I mean? If you did anything wrong, you got beat up, so...
Yeah.
You didn't want to get beat up, so you didn't do, you didn't step out of line.
So, tell me, from then, the days of wagging school and getting up to mischief and stuff like that...
Oh, my dad didn't know about things like that, you see.
Yeah. Does he now?
Well, he's dead now.
Well, he could still be here in spirit, sat by the side of you, poking you.
But I actually don't care.
Yeah.
Really? What he thinks. I did when I was 15 and wagging it. Yeah, was it? I mean, he would have beat me up if he would have found out. But come on, we all do it, don't we?
So, kind of tell me then about the 80s. How was it the 80s for you?
80s. Well, the 80s, it started off. I had a really good job in town, and
what was you doing?
I was earning great money. I was working at the Playboy. And I was the youngest bunny ever.
Wow.
Youngest bunny ever. I was 17.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have even employed me.
Did you lie? Did you say you was older?
I didn't know. I told them I was 17.
Yeah.
And they said, don't tell anybody you're 18. Tell people you're 18.
Mm.
And then it was my birthday. Right, and because it was my birthday, and I was 18, I asked for a day shift so I could go out that night. So I'm working in what was called a Warren. It was where the casino was. And I'm going around, I couldn't, you can't help. My birthday, give me a tip. No. And people are saying, well, how old are you, And I kept saying 18. And the boss, who was the bunny mother, she comes to me saying, stop telling people. Right, what are you doing? Tell them you're 19. Oh, I just kept forgetting I'm 18 today. Yeah. Oh, lovely day. I remember that day so well.
Don't we all? I remember my 18th.
Great day.
So, moving on, tell me how you come to write a book called Coronation Street, Where's My Jacket?
Do you want to play a tune and then we can talk about that?
Yeah. Why don't we?
Join me, Philip Sibanda, the Air Marshal Commander, every Tuesday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. for your early morning wake-up breakfast show on WFM 97.2. Join me for weather and traffic updates, all your local community news, interviews, and not forgetting some great tunes to keep you entertained. Tune in to the Air Marshal Commander every Tuesday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. only on WFM 97.2.
Hey You, I want to hear you listening to The Legacy of Rock on 97.2 on WFM every Saturday 8 till 10 with me, James Murphy, for the latest interviews, the latest rock music, free posters to be won, free CDs to give away, free concert tickets too, all on The Legacy of Rock 97.2, the loudest legacy on the planet.
Wythenshawe FM's Business What's On Guide.
Hi, your home is usually the biggest financial deal of anyone's life, unless you're in the lottery.
If you didn't win but have a house to sell, you can get expert advice from Ashton Rains in Northenden about your new home.
Call 0161 945 9000.
And ask for Alan.
Maria's Hair and Beauty on Lomond Road. All hair and beauty treatments offered in a brand new wellness salon. For more information, contact 0161 312 9104 or email mariaboutique@hotmail.co.uk.
Right, we're the Lancashire Hot Pots, and you're listening to Wythenshawe FM on 97.
Remember that tank top you bought me? You wrote you're gorgeous on it. You took me to your rented motor car and filmed me on the bonnet. You got me to hitch my knees up and pulled my legs apart. You took an Instamatic camera and pulled my sleeves around my heart. Because you're gorgeous, I'd do anything for you. Because you're gorgeous, I know you'll get me through. You said my clothes were sexy. You tore away my shirts. You rubbed an ice cube on my chest, snapped me till it hurts. Because you're gorgeous, I'd do anything for you. Because you're gorgeous, I know you'll get me cheap. You paid me £20. You promised to put me in a magazine on every table in every lounge. Because you're gorgeous, I'd do anything for you. Because you're gorgeous, I know you'll get me through. Because you're gorgeous, I'd do anything for you. Because you're gorgeous, I know you'll get me through. Know you'll get me through. Know you'll get me through. Know you'll get me, know you'll get me through. I know you'll get me, know you'll get me, know you'll get me through. Because you're gorgeous, I'd do anything for you. Because you're gorgeous, I know you'll get me through. Because you're gorgeous, I'd do anything for you. Because you're gorgeous.
Welcome back to WFM 97.2. I'm here with Sanda Shufflebottom. Hi, Sandra.
Hi, Lisa.
It's coming up to 6:30. If you want to get in touch, you can do so by ringing 0161 499 0222, or you can email us at the studio, which is studio@wfmradio.org.